Welcome to the dark side of Beastwriter for another Pick 6 at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We are here live every Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And again, the first 2 days leading into the work week, Monday and Tuesday, we have a Pick 6 segment. Wednesday, we have a Blitz pickup. So tomorrow at 6 p.m., we are having my good friend and mentor, Randy Cross, joining the show. Randy Cross is arguably the best 49ers offensive lineman to ever suit up for the red and gold. And so, again, there's a lot of things to be discussed when it comes with Randy Cross and how it relates to the silver and black. We'll get back to that tomorrow. Today specifically, we are talking about Davante Adams. And before we go ahead and get started, I just want to say, everyone, please turn on the bell notifications. I was looking at my analytics. We had only 2 people turn that on. So again, it's still at 14.5%. So be sure to flip on that bell notifications because you guys are already subscribed to the channel. We have 12 people in here right now watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you like what I provide on the daily. We are going to be talking. We have 6 likes and 13 people watching this. So let's get those likes up a little bit more than that, please. Thank you so much. And then we'll go ahead and get started. So again, 6 likes, 12 people watching it. It's only 50% of the people like the video, but watch all my stuff. So smash that like button. It's free, right? I'm not asking for a penny, just asking for your support. Yeah, please do that. It takes like 1 second. And really, we'll get started in a little bit. So thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. We just got up to 9 likes. We still have 12 people watching. So 3 people are still not hitting the like button. I'm watching this in real time. So we'll get started once 13 people now. So go ahead and hit that like button, and then we'll get started talking about Davante Adams. But yeah, 9 likes, 13 people watching it. We'll wait. All right, that went up to 11. We still have 11 people watching it right now. And thank you so much for the super chat. We're getting started on the right foot. On to Six Soldier. Thank you so much, Alvaro. He says, "What up, Beast DOB family?" On to Six Soldier. I'm not sure if you know. On to Six Soldier. He's in the NWA, but someone left a comment yesterday on the live stream. Says, "Are you friends with On to Six Soldier?" And I was like, I would like to think he's my friend. I haven't formally met you in person yet, but everyone I've met here on YouTube in person have became my friend. So I said, yeah. I thought that was just a weird question that he would ask me. Everyone here is part of the family. You know what I mean? So thank you so much, On to Six Soldier. I appreciate it. And I did check my IG DMs. So thank you so much. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. And again, there's 14 people watching right now. Give this video a thumbs up if you like what I have to bring on the daily when it comes to silver and black content. Oh, man. Daniel Kim says, turn on the bell notification. Yeah. It's Jingle Bell Rock all the time here in the DOB. All right? Jingle Bell Rock, Jingle Bell Rock. Let's smash that like button, everyone. Oh, man. Okay, Kevin Lurker. We got Kevin Lurker in that. Kevin, I've been waiting for you, man. I've seen it on other YouTube channels. And I was like, what happened to my guy, Kevin? I'm glad you're in here. He says, what is the Buzzbee? Salute, DOB family. I keep track of who's in here. And if you're not in here, I'm going to be on you. Ryan says, I want to feel bad for Davante, but he really should have known what he was getting himself into, asking to be traded to the Raiders. Well, here we are. Daniel Kim says, McDaniels has to really get this team moving quickly in the right direction to get everyone, players, and fans more on his side. He also says too much reading into it, but McDaniels has come out of the gate, shot like a rocket, and get this team moving in the right direction on the field. Winning cures a lot of concerns and speculation. Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about this. All right, 16 people watching right now. Give this video a thumbs up before we go ahead and start. But I'm just going to put down the ticker right now. And if you'd like to support through a super chat or super sticker like so many have done before, you guys can go ahead and send me a donation if you'd like, or a Venmo donation. If you guys are on Venmo, who's not on Venmo, everyone's on Venmo. And the link is in the description box below at Beastwriter. You can find me there. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about this, right? What is going on with Davante Adams? And this is the first time, all right? So if you read the ticker right now, Raiders wide receiver Davante Adams drops comments, and it was through The Ringer. It's an article that was posted by The Ringer. I woke up this morning. I was like, wow. Like, he has never been that open with us in the media. Like, to say what he says, that was very, very concerning. And a lot of different reasons why I say it's concerning. Concerning is a word that I like to use when there seems to be an issue or some type of resolution needs to be in place, because at the end of the day, let's be honest about this. If we tailor back the time, right, he wanted Aaron Rodgers to come to Las Vegas. All right. He was very vocal about it. At the Pro Bowl, he was interviewed who he wanted. He said everyone can wish, right? But he would want Aaron Rodgers. And rightfully so. I don't think that you wouldn't want Aaron Rodgers here. I mean, let's be honest, because if you're going to move on from Derek Carr, and I said this from day one. Check the Beast receipts here on YouTube. What I said, for Davante Adams to okay this deal, not like he has any say in it, but for him to like be at peace with it. Again, what did I say once they moved on from Derek Carr? I said whoever that person is, would be Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Jimmy Garoppolo. It has to be a move where Davante Adams views it as an upgrade, not a lateral move. And so Aaron Rodgers would, in fact, be an upgrade. All right. So again, when he says and leaves these comments to the ringer, we have ammo now. Ammo in the sense of this is stuff that he has said. So we're going to keep the receipts on what Davante Adams says. I'm not saying Davante Adams should or shouldn't say it. Look, if Derek Carr is one of his good friends, I'd be upset too if I was in Davante Adams' place. I'll just be 100% honest. Because if I view it as a lateral move, why not just stick with Derek Carr? The dynamic that we have to understand here is there's different parameters to this. Let me write this down. What I say when Jimmy Garoppolo, when I was one of the few, I think I was the first one to say that Jimmy Garoppolo was going to make his way to Las Vegas, and then Heavy.com picked up on it. A lot of these news outlets picked on it, used my quotes on Twitter, made little graphics out of it. And then what? What happened then? Jimmy Garoppolo came here. I said, why? Because he's a good fit for what Coach McDaniels likes to do. And I'm coming from San Francisco, and I covered the Raiders in my first year. So I know the dynamic that how that would work, because the two worked together, obviously, from their time in New England. Furthermore, right, the tight ends coach, Jerry Shopinski, was with the New England Patriots. So they brought him on board. And so here we are today. And I was the first one to report that they brought in Jerry Shopinski. So I'm just saying the Beast receipts check out. Not only do I provide great analysis, but I'll also be breaking news here and there if you keep up with me on Twitter, or if you keep up with me on YouTube, or if you keep up with me on Instagram. All right. So again, you're going to want to follow me on all those different social media outlets, and it's in the description box below. But getting back to Davante Adams, again, why is he making these comments? What the heck did he say? All right. So we're going to go ahead and break it down. All right. We're going to break it down. Mac Teddy, thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate it, my guy. All right. So this is the first time I'm going to do this. So bear with me for a second, because this is crazy hard for me. It shouldn't be, but it is. Let me just try to do something real fast so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. All right, hold on. Okay. So hopefully you see this, right? You see the article here that's posted. I can't see you guys right now. I'm just scrolling through the article. Hopefully you guys can see me. Again, I'm going to try to do things a little bit differently, paid for this a little bit out of my own pocket for the streaming services that I provided. So look, let me just read this to you. All right. If you guys are on the road, you guys can't read because you guys are listening. So I'm just going to read it to you if you guys are stuck in traffic. Look, Davante Adams anxiously awaited the news despite having played 9 seasons in the NFL, yada, yada, yada. All right. So then he talks, and then the first layer that we need to discuss when peeling back layers of onions to get to the core is he texted the Las Vegas Raiders PR. All right. I don't know if that's Will Kiss. I don't know if that's Cam. I don't know if it's Joe. I don't know if it's Jay. I don't know who it is. Someone in the PR, he texted them for a heads up. And so that's something he, quote unquote, has never done before. All right. As soon as you know the list, he said, I don't care if it's good news or bad news, if I'm second team or whatever, as in terms of being a first team or second team all pro. He wants to know because this is his first year in Vegas. And throughout his entire career, he's kind of been working in the shadows because he had Aaron Rodgers there. Now he doesn't have Aaron Rodgers there working with Derek Carr. He wanted to know that he was still well respected because we all know what he brings to the table. I mean, he has my respect. That's why I vote for him as one of the writers for the Pro Football Writers Association for a first team all pro. But it doesn't matter what I say. I only have one vote out of how many, right? And so again, he wanted to make sure that he knew the answer if he was going to be a first team all pro or a second team all pro. He just wanted to know. All right, back in January. And this is what he says. If I wouldn't have gotten first team All Pro, which he did, this is the first year where I would have actually cared. All right. So finally, he received a congrats text on January day. All right. So he was happy because, again, it just downplays the noise that, hey, man, there's talk, oh, man, you're only as good as Aaron Rodgers makes you. No, that's not the case. All right. So, again, the iron sharpens iron mentality and being perfectionist that Davante Adams is, this is the first layer that we need to discuss. All right. He wanted to prove that he can get it done without Aaron Rodgers and still be considered the gold standard. The commitment to excellence is on full tilt right now with the Las Vegas Raiders, and he actually did that and more in his first year in the silver and black. All right, so that's the first layer here in this article by The Ringer. All right, The Ringer posted up this article, and that was the first layer is Davante Adams just basically wanted to prove the doubters wrong that he still had game despite not playing with Aaron Rodgers. He goes on to say, when I got it, Adams says, I was like, all right, I'll never have to care about another one. Of course, he still wants more. With 3 straight AP first-team All-Pros under his belt, he's still chasing the record for the most consecutive first-team nods of any receiver in history. Those bragging rights obviously go to Jerry Rice, who earned 5 straight from 1992 to 1996, which included that 1994 Super Bowl run. All right. And if I remember correctly, if it wasn't for Jerry Rice tearing his ACL on the reverse against the Tampa Bay Bucks, that could have been 6 times. All right. But the reason this first team nod meant so much to Adams, right, is because, again, he goes on to say it was without Aaron Rodgers. He says, now people can't say that. Adams says, there'll never be the narrative ever again. It proves that I am me. A quarterback doesn't make me. I make me. And I can do it consistently at this level. All right. So he goes on to say that that's why this season or last season meant a lot. Even if I went and played like dog crap next year, they can't say that because now I've already proved it throughout the course of a season, played every game, and put together a resume that says I do not need a quarterback or Aaron Rodgers. You can erase all the numbers. You can just write in he didn't need Aaron Rodgers. All right. That's what he says. All right. So that's the first layer of comments there. So he wanted to prove to everyone that he knew what he was talking about in terms of bringing his on-skill performance and having that matchup with not being with Aaron Rodgers over the course of his career. All right. Here's the second thing. All right. And you see right here in the green on the right-hand corner right here, talks about him and his first season from the Packers, without the Packers. All right. Now, if you go on, he talks a little bit and transitions now into Super Bowl talk, right? I'm closer to the end than I am the beginning, Adams says. It's crazy to think about. All right. This is what he says. I highlighted it for you. All right. And again, there's a lot of different layers to this. All right. So let's go ahead and break it down layer by layer. All right. He can only control what he can control, he says. Controlling what I can control. That's basically what Josh Jacobs said this time last year in training camp when he wasn't given his 5th-year option. And Vinny Bonsignori asked him in the Raiders media workroom, hey, Josh, how do you like cope with not giving up, not getting your 5th-year option approved by this new regime? And he said, hey, man, I can only control what I can control. So same thing is being echoed now a year later with Davante Adams in terms of what's in his control and what's not in his control. All right. Again, how do I know this? I'm a beat writer. I'm there. And you have to know and read between the lines a lot of times. Now, before we go ahead and move on, I see some people posting on Instagram, social media, YouTube that are saying, oh, it's not a big deal. Relax. No, it is a big deal. For anyone who says it's not a big deal, you're in the wrong profession or trying to get in the wrong, it's a big deal. All right. We're not trying to, this is not a smoke screen. This is not something, draft season's over. This is actually real talk. All right. This is stuff that he says. This is all factual information. All right. And so when people try to push a false narrative saying that it's not a big deal, that in itself is a bad look because it is a big deal because he's saying, look, I'm not so sure without saying it you have to read between the lines, and I've been doing this for over a decade, that I'm not so sure that Jimmy Garoppolo here is a better move than having Derek Carr here, who's my good friend. All right, which is why there's a picture here, right? You wouldn't have this picture up here by the ringer if you can't read between the line, right? He says this is a different dynamic in Green Bay. It wasn't all about on him to be the face of the leader, says Nick Robinson, one of Adams' closest friends since age 12. Now he's literally the face of the franchise. All right. So again, now he has to be the guy. All right. He has to be the guy, which I think he relishes to be the guy. Like, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think he would want to be the leader of the team. So I'm not reading too much into that. But then again, we talk about some other things that he says. All right. And here it is against the 49ers in that January 1 game. All right, so he's talking about the season with his friend, and that's just kind of like, I guess that's cool. It's his frustration with the way the year went, kind of. All right, so here we go. So the article says, once Derek Carr was moved on, Davante Adams says, you almost get numb to it a little bit. I'm a little bit different when it's one of your good friends. All right. So he's talking about Derek Carr moving on because he knows the NFL is a business, right? So he says you almost get numb to it a little bit. It's a little bit different when it's one of your good friends. All right. So again, I feel for Davante Adams because if that was one of my good friends and now he was no longer with the team and I came here specifically to play with my good friend and he's no longer with the team 1 year later, I'm going to feel some type of way. So I don't blame Davante Adams at all. We're just calling it factual from fiction. What's factual and what's fiction? These are all facts. This is something that's building up a story. And be honest with you, I think this was in the works for a while. This article, I don't think it came out in one course interview. I think it was over time, but that could be remained for a different story. All right. He says it doesn't stop us with Carr now gone to the New Orleans Saints. It doesn't stop us from being able to have our same brotherhood that we had, that we sustained our whole career. All right. That's what he says. I don't have enough. Okay. Adams is committed to turning things around in Las Vegas, but a full-blown rebuilding process may take longer than he can afford at this point in his career. Okay. So basically, while we're talking about a rebuild, right, which we talk about here in the DOB, because it is a rebuild. I don't care the word that you use. It's a rebuild. All right. That's not something that I'm going to shy away from. It is like, it's a rebuild, but I think at this point with Jimmy Garoppolo there, I don't think they view it as a rebuild. Again, it's not what I think. It's how they think, right? How I view them from a front office perspective, right? GM Dave Ziegler and all those guys there. If you're asking me if I like the move from moving on from Derek Carr to Jimmy Garoppolo, I would be one of the few that says, yeah, I do like the move. I don't think it's a lateral move in terms of what Jimmy Garoppolo brings to the table in terms of familiarity with the offense and having the understanding of working with the New England Patriot way, making its way to Raider way. All right. And I don't care what you call it. Been saying it since this time last year. It's the winning way. You can call it the Patriot way, the Raider way. You can call it the Beastwriter way. I don't give a dang. As long as you have one more point than the other team on that scoreboard, I don't care. All right. So again, we're reading this here. All right. So this is what he says. He says, I don't have enough time for that. So he views this. Why would Davante Adams make this comment here? All right. So if he's committed to turning things around in Las Vegas, but not willing to go through a rebuilding process, because again, let's be honest about that. If it's in a rebuilding process at this stage of his career, he would want to go and play for a contender. That's why he played for the Las Vegas Raiders. He chose to play with Derek Carr. He chose to play with Max Crosby, who just got an extension. Hunter Renfrow just got an extension. At the time, Darren Waller just got an extension. Chandler Jones just came here from the Arizona Cardinals. So again, to think that the Raiders were not doing that, you're be fooling yourself because the money tells you otherwise. All right. But he says, I don't have enough time for that as far as a rebuild. So does he view this as a rebuild? This is his words, not mine. We're talking about a full-blown rebuilding process, and he responds by saying, I don't have enough time for that. So does he view in the back of his mind that this is a rebuild and that he views Derek Carr from Jimmy Garoppolo is considered a lateral move? All right, is it? That's for another debate. What's not for debate is the fact that he says, I don't have time for another rebuild. All right, so he wants to win today. All right. These are his words. All right. I'm not trying to push something that's a false narrative. We're pointing out the facts as we always do. He says, we got to figure out the big picture. All right. Highlighting it. All right. We got to figure out the big picture. Then we go on and talk about Jimmy Garoppolo here at the Ringer. All right. So he goes and talks about stuff. And this is his thoughts on Jimmy Garoppolo. All right. And I'll tell you, if this is what I have known of Jimmy Garoppolo, obviously working with him over the years, but he just said he's a really cool dude. Talking to him, I really haven't been around him enough to truly know what type of leader he is. I've only heard good things from his teammates though, so that's a good thing because it's guys that because it's guys that I know wouldn't mess around with stuff like that. All right, well, let me tell you something. Davante Adams, I can tell you firsthand, Jimmy Garoppolo is a leader. He's very well respected inside the 49ers locker room. In fact, there's people inside that locker room that feel a certain way, the same certain way when the Joe Montana, Steve Young dynamic was going in different directions and you had to pick and choose sides. You can't tell me that didn't happen in San Francisco with Trey Lance when they gave up 3 first-round picks and that he was waiting in the wings. But some guys inside the building, I would say the majority, wanted Jimmy Garoppolo as their day one starter, despite giving up 3 round 1 picks and Trey Lance being the future. Now, fast forward a few years later, where are we now? Brock Purdy time, we have Sam Darnold, and we have Trey Lance coming off a torn ACL. All right? So I can tell you firsthand, Jimmy Garoppolo is very well respected inside the 49ers locker room, and he'd be very well respected inside the Raiders locker room. In fact, knowing Jimmy the way I know Jimmy, he will lead this team, and the nation will love Jimmy Garoppolo. Telling you right now, the fans, the media, the community would love Jimmy Garoppolo. It's an honor to have a Jimmy Garoppolo on your team. All right? I'm telling you guys right now, I'm not throwing smoke out here. I'm telling you, Davante, if you're watching this, I'm letting you know. And I know it's hard. It's a tough pill to swallow because Derek Carr's your boy and everything. And he was also a good leader. I'm not saying he's not. He was also those things. So both those guys are good leaders. So I'm not trying to throw shade at anyone. I'm just pointing out the facts because you said you weren't sure what type of leader he is. Obviously, because you guys haven't been around each other enough. Like, how would you know? Like, you wouldn't know, right? Like, I don't blame you, but I'm saying he's a good leader. All right. This is where it gets really interesting. All right. And again, if you guys like what I bring to the table, feel free to drop a super chat or a super sticker here in the DOB. All right. Like McTeddy did earlier, and also like Onto Six Soldier did. All right. So again, let's go ahead and talk about this. All right. Let's go ahead and talk about this. All right. So if you guys want to send and support, we've been on for 28 minutes and 30 seconds. If you guys like the silver and black content that I provide in the daily, give this video a thumbs up and like the channel. Again, we're trying to boost the algorithm here. As a recommended video, we have more people watching this than liking it. We have 26 likes right now, and we have 27 people watching. So please give this video a thumbs up. We're up to 26 now. Thank you so much. I will check this periodically before we go ahead and move on, just to keep the valuation versus evaluation of running these live streams on point, just like I do with my game grades. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about this, guys. All right. So this is where it gets really interesting. All right. So he talks about in the vision for the 49ers offense, for the Raiders offense. Like, all right, this is what Adam says. This is his words, not mine, not yours, not some content stealer or content creator or beat writer. This is exactly his words on the Ringer, told to the Ringer. He says, and I quote, "The front office thinks this is the best bet for us right now to put us in a position to be urgent," he says. So when Jimmy Garoppolo, okay, and again, we have to read between the lines, but I'm assuming, all right, and I never want to assume anything, because when I assume, you make a but out of you and me, right? That's what the assuming is. But when you read between the lines, no pun intended with the but, what does it tell you? The front office thinks this is the best bet for us right now. So what is the best bet? So let's back up a little bit. So what is the best bet? Is the best bet keeping Chandler Jones because he's due all that money and you can't get rid of him? Is the best bet going on and signing Jacoby Myers and possibly trading away Hunter Renfrow? Is the best bet solidifying the defense, getting a tight end that he can work with down the seams, and Michael Mayer trading up to 2, right? Trading up to 2, getting a 2. What is the best bet for us right now? He says, the front office thinks this is the best bet for us right now to put us in a position to be urgent. Not best bets. He didn't say best bets, plural. He says, the front office thinks this is the best bet, singular, for us right now to put us in a position to be urgent. He goes on to say, we don't see eye to eye on what we think is best for us right now. So in Davante Adams' viewpoint, and again, it's not what I think, it's not what you think, it's what we know. Let's look at the facts. And for anyone who says on social media that it's not an issue, it's an issue. And I would say unfollow those people. They don't know what they're talking about. It is an issue. It is an issue. If GM Dave Ziegler is looking at this right now, you don't think he thinks this is an issue? Why? Because, again, this is bulletin board material for everyone involved. And it's not, and it's look, if it was me, I would feel some type of way if I was GM Dave Ziegler. I'd be like, man, like, why couldn't just, or maybe these discussions have taken place and he's just airing out, what he truly feels. I don't know. And that's not a knock on Davante Adams. He can feel some type of way. He's the best in the league. And he would know best, right? If for his point of view. So again, the player GM dynamic here is in play, but they don't see eye to eye on what we think is best for us right now. That's what he said. This is his words highlighted. We don't see eye to eye on what we think is best for us right now. So what does that mean? To me, it means Jimmy Garoppolo. And if you're Jimmy Garoppolo and you're hearing this, because I know you are, Jimmy G, he's like, oh man, I thought hey, man, just got to San Francisco. Had to deal with the whole Trey Lance dynamic, the toxic locker room dynamic there. And then now, the funny thing about this is he could all come out and say, that's not what I meant, Davante Adams, right? But will we ever know the truth? Because he would never, and Davante Adams is a very smart guy. He would never come out and truly say, hey, look, yeah, I was talking about Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, he would never do that. Hardly ever use absolutes, but he would never do that. He would never throw Jimmy Garoppolo under the bus, even if he felt this way. If he truly felt this way, which again, I'm assuming, all right? But again, we're not dumb here in the DOB. All right? We weren't born yesterday. All right? So while Davante Adams feels a certain way on Jimmy Garoppolo, in my opinion, if this is what he's talking about, I also feel a certain type of way on Jimmy Garoppolo. I am a huge fan of Jimmy Garoppolo. I would rather have Jimmy Garoppolo over Derek Carr. That's just me. And that's not because I'm coming from the 49ers. I'm biased. No, I always keep things unfiltered. Again, to most people, it would seem like a lateral move. I think I have the inside track on this because I covered Jimmy Garoppolo with the Niners, and I know how that dynamic is going to work here in Las Vegas going into year 2. It's not like my first year coming to the Raiders. I'm going into year 2 now. So I can kind of see the cultural identity and the buy-in within the program that they're trying to instill, and using what I've, again, when I was on Raider Nation Radio, talked about it earlier today with my guy, Harry Ruiz. That's one of the things I want to look for. The quarterback wide receiver timing when they run their routes. How's their team chemistry when they come off their stem? Do they know where to throw the ball in certain situations based on the cover shells that they see in front from pre to post snap? These are all things I'm going to be looking for. All right. So again, let's go ahead and break this down. All right. So he's not really happy with the bet. The front office thinks this is the best bet for us right now to put us in a position to be urgent, as in winning now. Right. We don't see eye to eye on what we think is best for us right now. He goes on to say that he doesn't make the final decisions, but he also says this: I'm going to have to buy into this and try to be as optimistic as possible. Wow. So he's got to buy into what? What are we talking about here? What's the buy into this? All right. Because when you talk about this, you're talking about a thing, not some things, a thing. I'm going to have to buy into this and try to be as optimistic as possible. It's not what I expect it to happen, but it's something that's the reality now. Again, for anyone who says this does not matter, unfollow them. It matters. Like, you're talking as a fan. You're not talking from an objective perspective. And again, if you're going to try to crack into the NFL media or in the media space, you're going to need to be objective and not think from your heart as a fan, which I know is hard to do because, believe me, I was a fan. But then again, you have to turn off the switch and talk and actually think about what is actually truly happening. To say it's not an issue, it's an issue. That's why it's on ESPN. That's why it's on NFL Network. That's why people are talking about it. You don't think if it wasn't an issue on the bigger networks, they would just say, no, it's not an issue. It's an issue. All right. So to me, again, it goes on to the offense. All right. He says it all depends on the style of ball that we play. All right. So now we're talking about the offense, right? It all depends on the style of ball that we play. If we play a certain brand of ball, I can get Garoppolo to conform to whatever. But if we use him in a certain type of way, then it's going to make it tough for us to maximize who we should be this year. Wow. All right. He goes on to say, and this is where the fans come into play because they're like, oh, well, he wants to be a Raider and he wants to win here. All right. This is what he says. After all of that, how many layers was that? 3, 4 bad things? Here's the good thing. My goal is to win a Super Bowl with this team. And that's why I didn't come here to just be cute with Derek. It is really to try and have a shot and change this organization. So while Davante Adams doubles down on this and kind of peels back a little bit and says, hey, look, despite all I just said, I want to win the Super Bowl with the Las Vegas Raiders. And I didn't just come here to be cute with Derek. But at the end of the day, the comments that you just said kind of reflected that it was in regards to Derek. But I get it. I'm not blaming Davante Adams. I would be on the same boat with Davante Adams. In fact, I can see why he's so frustrated, right? He goes on to say it is to really try and have a shot and change this organization. All right. So again, controlling what he can control. All right. So this is all driven, right? It's all driven within the offense. He was talking about the offense, not happy with the front office. He has to buy into the program, which is why, or I should say rebuy into the program. Because if you notice, when I asked him this question as a beat writer, because I work there as a Monday through Friday, my 9 to 5, right? And that's why my trailer video into this live stream was the buy-in. Because he had to be the one telling other players to buy in. And right now, in this article, he literally said that he himself now has to buy in. So again, there's kind of contradictory comments here in a sense where he was buying in when Derek Carr was there because he was still on the roster. And now that he's not on the roster, he talks about having to buy in with what's going on today. Like that is two different things here. I'm going to have to buy into this and try to be as optimistic as possible. It's not what I expected to happen, but it's something that's the reality now. So for anyone to say this is not an issue, it's an issue. It's a huge issue. And that's why I said, like, people who say it's not, you're talking from a fan perspective and not a logical one. And that's why you guys follow me. I'm unfiltered on this. All right. 27 people watching right now. Give this video a thumbs up if you like what I have to bring on the daily. All right. We're not sugarcoating anything. And I'm not taking shots at Davante Adams. Look, he can feel whatever he feels. I respect Davante Adams a hell of a lot, right? Love Davante Adams, one of my favorite players to cover, and obviously got my first team All-Pro vote. So again, Davante Adams don't grow on trees. He has a voice in the decision making, but ultimately it's up to GM Dave Ziegler to do what he feels is best for this football team. He's not going to listen at the end of the day because it's his final say to you. He's not going to listen to me. He's not going to listen to any player, whether it be Max Crosby, Davante Adams, or whoever. He's going to do what he feels is best for this football team long term. All right. And he's going to go out swinging his way. All right. And I respect a hell of a lot for GM Dave Ziegler to do that. Stick to his guns and say, you know what? I respect your input. That's why we ask for your input, Davante. But we're going to be going in a different direction. The fact that this article came out and he basically threw shade. I shouldn't say threw shade. He basically voiced his displeasure. Shade's a bad word. Voices displeasure or whatever feelings. Emotional feelings about whatever is happening. That's we're all human, right? We all can feel some type of way. So I'm not blaming him. In fact, I think it's good that he actually shed some light on what he truly feels, right? So it's not necessarily a bad thing. I think the problem here is what's next. Like people are talking about, is Davante Adams going to be traded now because Derek Carr is not there? I wouldn't go as far as saying that. Like I'm getting confused. I think Davante Adams wants to be here. So I wouldn't read too much into that. I wouldn't go as far as saying that. But again, we've been on for 41 minutes and 47 seconds. If you guys liked the breakdown that I just provided you, smash the like button. We have 29 people watching right now on this video. And if you guys like the fire that I bring on the daily when it comes to your silver and black, please, Beast Nation, do your boy a follow and give us a subscription by subscribing to the YouTube channel and turning on that bell notifications. Also, want to give a special shout out to those that already kicked off the super chats today. Again, it makes making these worthwhile on the daily. So again, if you want to support through a super chat or super sticker like Mac Teddy did, and also on to 6, you guys can do that right now. I'd really appreciate that. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get to your questions. If you have questions, we'll get to the super chat questions first and then everybody else second. But again, I will get to everyone at the end of the day. All right. Omar Juarez says, what's good, Beast? What's going on? All right. On to 6 says, all rise and remain standing. Queen Raiderette is in the building. Y'all can remain standing. Hi, Queen. What's going on, Queen Raiderette? How are you doing today? We got a lot of people in here. All right. We got a lot of people in here. Omar Juarez says, D-Money. Menace. All right. A space chimp is in the house. All right. Who else we got? On to 6 says, everyone go follow Queen Raider on IG for everything Raiders. Kevin Lurker says, in my opinion, Adam sees how Josh is getting treated and has to question the direction. He wants to put his name in the record books. I can see him leaving after this season. Wow. Wow. That is a bold statement because, again, Davante Adams didn't simply move here to Vegas just to play with Derek Carr. He moved here to be closer to the Bay Area because he's from East Palo Alto, just down the street from where I'm from in San Jose. Furthermore, I honestly think Davante Adams is not going to request a trade. I think in his heart of hearts, he wants to win here in Las Vegas. So although, again, I can see it happening, right? Because if Davante Adams is kind of like, I'm not going to be in a rebuild. And if he views this as a rebuild, doesn't matter what you think or what I think or what Dave Ziegler thinks. If he himself thinks he's in a rebuild, he could request a trade. You never know. I'm not, nothing's off the table at this point. I mean, this is really big news. This is huge news. Anybody who says it's not, unfollow them. It's big news. It's huge. It's huge. And again, he can come back after all this and say, you know what? I wasn't even talking about Jimmy Garoppolo. People were trying to spin the story or whatever, just kind of throw out the fire or put out the fire. But at the end of the day, man, the feel's already there. You can't go back and say you didn't say this. I mean, but again, he didn't necessarily say Jimmy Garoppolo, but he did call out the front office. I mean, that's already been, like, he literally said, we don't see eye to eye, right? He already said that, right? He said a lot of things. He said we don't see eye to eye. And he's going to have to try to buy into this. Buy into what? I mean, you don't have a picture of these two guys if you don't know what you're talking about. And there's Coach McMahon right there on the right, special teams coach. What's up, Coach? All right. So you guys know what I'm talking about though? Like for real. Like let's. Space Chimp says he wouldn't put that out unless he had a motive or an agenda. And Davante Adams is one of the smartest players that I covered during my time in the NFL media. Just FYI. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna close this out right now. But yeah, it's crazy, right? Like, I'm not trying to like push something that's false. We read the article verbatim. Ryan says Josh McDaniels is doing the same thing he did in Denver, losing and then throwing star players under the bus and alienating others. This is concerning, man. I don't know, man. This is really concerning. I'm very upset because I want to see the Raiders do well. You know, coming from San Francisco, any team I cover, I want them to do well. Like truthfully, right? Because when they do well, I do well financially, right? When they don't do well, I don't do well financially. So I would want them to do well. I would want them to win the Super Bowl every single year. Unfortunately, that's not how the world works. In a perfect world, it would work that way. Unfortunately, it's not. Second of all, I feel a certain way toward these players on a personal level because I work with them, right? Monday through Friday. So I think at the end of the day, you can look at this in one of two ways. All right. From a beat writer perspective, all right, I'm talking just for myself as a beat writer, not as a fan. I can look at this as one of two ways. One, he doesn't want, he's really upset about, having Derek Carr gone. So I'm just going to say whatever the heck I want to say because it's after the fact already. Jim Garoppolo's already here. Or I can be like, you know what? That could be somewhat, but maybe he's just motivationally driven to say, hey, look, like, I don't care what the situation is. At the end of the day, I want to be here in Las Vegas, and whatever happens that's out of my control. And then there's a combination of the two. So for me, it's like, okay, I see what Davante Adams is saying. Maybe he's voicing his displeasure for whatever the case may be. Right or wrong, it's out there. But to say that it's not an issue, that's talking like a fan. And I think that's where, again, you only have 24 hours in a day. I always say this, to follow who you want to follow. Be sure you follow people who put out unbiased information, not just accurate information or people who steal content, right? You don't want to follow those people, but actually people who don't get too emotional in the news that is being put out there. And that's very hard pill to swallow for a lot of fans, whether it be the Raider Nation, whether it be the Niner Empire, doesn't matter, right? Because at the end of the day, every fan is emotional about their team. Emotional about their team. Emotional. So again, we have to be careful about that. You have to be careful about that, right? Take your emotions out of the situation. Holly Tammer says, Beast, salute, brother. How you doing? All right. Ooh, Kelly Joseph says, Josh McDaniels has got to sell Davante Adams, Beast Nation. Whoa. Yeah, he's got to sell DA. He's got to sell him. I get it. Brian says they can't trade Davante. It's like a $54 million cap hit. Well, let's look at it. All right, we'll look at it. And if it's $54 million, we're going to figure that out right now. If you were to trade him, which I don't think they're going to do that. So I don't know why I'm doing this, but no, that's actually incorrect. If you trade him post June 1 as opposed to June 1 designation, you actually save the team $6.8 million in cap savings with the $7.85 million in dead money. So he has a cap number of 14.7, But then again, the dead money tied after the cap savings would equate to the cap number, which equates to 6.8 million savings. So you actually save money there. But that's for a different story. I don't think they're going to do that. All right. But that's why you follow me, right? Whoever said 54 million cap hit, crazy. I don't think you wouldn't absorb that all in 1 year. Now, if you trade him pre-June 1, you're looking at a $16.6 million cap hit. Again, what does the 54 million dead money come in? Maybe total, but that doesn't even add up. So yeah, that's that. Anyways, Kikaha Raider says, don't forget, Davante is a first-team all-troll. I think you meant all-pro. All-pro. I think he meant all-pro. Kikaha Raider, that's hilarious, though. That's hilarious how you said all-troll, like he's trolling the team. He's a first-team all-troll. All-pro, I get it. Typo. I do it all the time. There's, you guys, my Twitter fingers, I don't know what's going on with my freaking phone, man. It like autocorrects to things like doesn't even make sense. So I get it. Ryan says that was according to Silver and Black Pride. Well, I'm looking at right now. That's what I'm seeing. If you trade him with a post June 1, all right, he has $14.74 million cap number for 2023 with dead money tied to 7.8. You have a cap savings of 14.7 minus 7.8 comes out to $6.89 million in cap savings for the 2023 season. And you only have $3.9 million in cap space that we talked about yesterday when we discussed the Quinton Williams deal and potential of what it would take to get him and the parameters on who would come and who would go. All right. This is why you guys follow me. Tian Jung, I haven't seen you in a while. Says, Salute Nation. What's going on, my guy? How you doing? We have 31 people watching right now. Give this video a thumbs up if you like what I have to bring on the daily. Also, you see the sticker right here? If you guys want to support through a super chat or super sticker, we've been on for almost a freaking hour, man. 52 minutes and 26 seconds in. We just got 2 super chats already. Thank you so much for those super chats. I want to give a special shout out to On 6 Soldier. He says, what up, Beast family? DOB, holla at your boy. Mac Teddy. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. So if you guys want to support like those guys have done before me, please do so. Support your boy here in the DOB. It really means a lot. It makes making these live streams worthwhile. Not going to lie. Right? It's my 9 to 5. Not going to lie. Or, I know times are tough. Just give this video a thumbs up. There's 29 people watching right now. That is free. All right? So I'm not asking for a penny, just asking for a like. And also, if you want to kill multiple birds with one stone, I strongly recommend watching all my videos. One, it makes me money when you watch all my videos. So time is money and money is time. So again, that helps me make money and that doesn't cost you a thing, just costs your time. So again, watch all my videos on the replays. And if you're watching this on the replay and want to send me a super thanks, like Mika from Germany did again. Thank you so much, Mika from Germany. He did it 2 times today. Thank you so much, Mika Germany. He always sends me a super thanks. Every time I wake up, I get a super thanks from Mika Germany. I need like 1,000 Mika Germanys. That's what I need here in the DOB. And we'd be set. Can I just have 3 Mika Germanys? No, everyone does their part. Honestly. And again, a like is free, so that is just as valuable, all joking aside. So give this video a thumbs up if you like what I have to bring and the fire content that I provide on a day-to-day basis when it comes to breaking down things like Davante Adams and possible trade talk and what it would cost. And should they move Davante Adams? The answer is absolutely not. Absolutely not. Despite this, if I was GM Dave Ziegler, I have a sit down with Davante Adams. I'd be like, hey, Tay, look, man, we saw your article on the Ringer on Beast's YouTube channel. Look, like, we kind of want to make it work. Like, what are your feelings toward this? Like, this is from the business management side, right? Coming from San Diego State, that's my background, business management major. You got to have a clear line of communication from a management perspective. So again, you want to kind of diffuse the situation and resolve the issue, right? How do we do that? Well, you have to communicate, right? You have to be honest with each other. Hey, look, man, just tell me how you feel, man. Like, it's kind of like therapy. Like, yo, bro, like, I know you wanted Derek Carr. I know, all right? I know you came here for Derek Carr. I get it. But, we felt what we wanted was Jimmy Garoppolo because we think he gives us the best chance to win in Coach McDaniel's offense. And if you want a ring, because that's what we want, we're not in it for anything else than just win baby, right? Getting that fourth Super Bowl ring. We're going to have to do our due diligence and do what we feel is best for this football team, even if you agree or not. Can you buy into this? You said in the article you're not sure. You said you're going to have to buy into it, right? What is the article on the buy-in? He said, I'm going to have to buy into this and try to be as optimistic as possible. So he's not sold on this yet. He says, I'm going to have to. Anytime anytime it's like a parent, anytime they have to tell you to do something, do you want to do something or do you have to do something because you're being told or you have to feel some type of way? He says, I'm going to have to buy into this. Whether or not he agrees with it or not, he's going to have to do it and try to be as optimistic as possible. So he's not even optimistic about it. He says he's going to have to try to be optimistic about it. This is concerning. I mean, again, anybody who says it's not, it's crazy. It is. Like, what are we doing? It's very concerning. Oh, Kikaha Raider said, he said it on an interview, he likes to troll on the media. Well, let me tell you something. If that's the case, then Davante Adams, you're the biggest troll there is, and all this is nonsense. But I'm just letting you guys know, I don't think it's nonsense in this case, even if he says that he's trolling the media. Because at the end of the day, the facts are the facts, and he's good friends with Derek Carr. How would you feel if like, let's say the DLB show ended today, and we had someone else coming in, and you're like, whoa, what happened to Beastwriter? Exactly. What happened to Beastwriter? The reality situation is Beastwriter's no longer here. The DLB is gone. It's dead. There's too many content stealers out there. He got fed up and he left. He went back to the Niners. Oh, you guys are probably, which by the way, not going to happen. But which is funny because there's so many freaking fake accounts of me trolling. You want to talk about trolling? Trolling around social media, and the blue verified badge is ridiculous. I'm just letting you guys know. Now everyone on Instagram is verified. It's like, cool story, bro. Like I told my friend on Instagram, I was like, can you guys unverify me? Can I pay someone to unverify me on Instagram? Like, I don't want to be clumped with those people that paid for the verification. This is ridiculous. Can I pay someone to be unverified? Yeah. If you guys don't know and don't follow me on Instagram, I am verified on Instagram. I am paid for it. My friend's like, you're such a douche. He's like, dude, it sucks. It's like, what do you want me to do about it? It's like, I can only control what I can control. But no, that Davante Adams can feel whatever he feels like. I just think it is a cause for concern at some point, at some level, because it's just ammo. Like, why would you go out and say this? You wouldn't, and you can't go out and say you didn't say this or that you didn't mean it. Now he can say, oh, it had nothing to do with Jimmy Garoppolo. It had to do with a lot of different factors with, maybe it could be Darren Waller being shipped off or like Josh Jacobs not getting his extension. But come on. I think the root of the problem is the quarterback situation. Because if Aaron Rodgers was here, would he come out and say these things? Let's be honest about that. If Aaron Rodgers was here in Las Vegas right now as the quarterback, you think he'd come out and say these things? Holly Tanner said, DA said in a video he wasn't leaving because of Carr being gone. That is absolutely correct. And we broke that down in the article earlier. Holly, not sure if you you actually, to be honest with you, I think you just caught on the last 20 minutes. We did discuss about that. Yeah, he's not leaving because of Derek Carr. But there are other factors based on the Ringer's article that holds truth. Right? That holds truth. It's just a lot of crazy. 50 plus media says just win, baby. 50 plus media is in the house. This is the first time you ever engage with us on this platform. Mahalo and welcome to the DLB family. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on that bell notification so you get notified when we go live or update content. Raiders Pinoy, I haven't seen you in a while. It says salute Raider Nation. Raiders Pinoy, how are you doing? Love your Raider jersey there in the background and your black sunglasses. That is a true Raider Nation right there. Oh, man. Jeremy Willis says, Davante Adams said he wants to return the organization to greatness and win a Super Bowl with the Raiders. He said he can retire here, no income tax, can play golf anytime, and his family is in California. Yeah, specifically East Palo Alto, right across from the IKEA. I know because I'm just minutes away from his hometown because I'm from San Jose. Yeah, Bay Area rooted. Holla at your boy. With that being said, Boostin' with E says, what's good, Beast Nation? What is going on? How are you doing? Space Chimp says, Davante has always been very measured in what he says. This is very true. In getting to know Davante, I kind of see this and kind of agree with that. The fact that this comes out and says a lot about his feelings on the current regime. Can't say I disagree. I cannot say I disagree. Because again, why would you even do that? Like, why would you even come out and say this? If Aaron Rodgers was here in Las Vegas, would he have come out and said these things? No, because he doesn't view it as a lateral move. Now, does he view it as a lateral move? I don't know. I'm just saying from my point perspective, I think he views this as a lateral move. That's my opinion on it. He didn't say that. What he did say was what we said verbatim in the article. Like, oh my gosh. DA says, what with Jimmy G at the helm, how did these offensive pieces fit together, especially DA? Well, you're gonna see how they like to use like Brandon Ayuk. They like to use them on shallow crossing digs. Look, I'll be honest, Jimmy Garoppolo is not the most accurate downfield thrower between the 20s. All right, outside the numbers, he's just not. So you're gonna have to tailor the offense, and then it's funny because they brought the Air Coryell offense now, the air raid offense over here, with now Scott Turner as the passing game coordinator. So again, the coaching staff has changed and tweaked a little bit. But at the end of the day, I think that's why you brought in and traded up to get guys like tight end Michael Mayer. I mean, this guy can be a top 10 tight end in the NFL in his rookie season. He trust me, this guy's going to put up a stat line that I'm going to be putting out later and watch other people write this down and then say, oh, prediction stat line from Michael Mayer is XYZ. But how it's going to look, I honestly don't know. I think I talked about this on Raider Nation Radio today. I can kind of see the blueprint of how they want to do things based on the personnel coming over from the 49ers. So again, once training camp and preseason starts to come into fruition, I'm going to go ahead and lay down the foundation as to the why behind the what. Because again, I have the inside track covering Jimmy Garoppolo. I know how he likes to run his offense, and I know how he views certain down and distance and formations and all that. So again, I have an inside track on this. I'll be posting everything in my training camp videos and all that you guys all come to love when training camp rolls around. You guys like how I break down the videos in a step-by-step breakdown, posting these videos live, right? Once I, well, not live stream, obviously, but like I pre-record it and then I post them up for you guys when I can, shortly after. But yeah, those videos will be posted and I will let you guys know exactly the what and the why behind Jimmy Garoppolo and this new high-powered offense. Jerry Willis says, Beastwriter, do you think he made these comments to institute Ziegler making trades to improve the roster? I don't know. That's a great question. I don't know. I think I don't know. That is a great question. That's a question for Davante Adams. And one, I don't know if he'd give us the right answer anyways, that he truly feels. 50 plus meters says, could it be possible that we trade Davante Adams, seeing how we could have 50 wide receivers? I don't think Davante Adams. Look, if you trade Davante Adams, Ziegler is basically throwing the white flag that this is a lost season. Like, you move on from Davante Adams. That's a tough pill to swallow. I think that would be a huge blow to the Raider Nation. I mean, trading away your Davante Adams, the first team All-Pro, and then not even resigning another first team All Pro and Josh Jacobs to a long-term extension. It's like almost like now the message is being sent like, hey, if you make a first team All Pro, you're not going to be here long. We know you're the standard, but you're not going to be here long if you're a first team All Pro. That does not make sense and resonate within that locker room. They're going to be like, okay, so why are we even trying to win? Why are we trying to be the best if we're just trading away our first team All Pros? Like, there's only one of one as a first team All Pro. You trade away both of them. Josh Jacobs not gets resigned, he's gone, and then you trade Davante. See, I don't see that. I think that would be a tough one. That would be a tough one. I don't think you can make that move, just from a locker room standpoint and dynamic. DK says, do you think we signed Vanoy? I don't think so. I don't think you signed Vanoy. I think they're happy with Divine Diallo, Luke Masterson, Darian Butler, a few of the other guys that they have there, and Robert Spillane. So I think they want to see how that plays out before signing anyone else, right? There's a reason why Vanoy is still on the free agent wire. But yeah. John Lennon says, John Leon, says, do you see us trading Jacobs? No, I don't see us trading Josh Jacobs. Again, Jimmy Garoppolo needs a strong rushing attack to be backed up by his game managing style. And that's not a knock on Jimmy Garoppolo. Look, I don't care how you win, as long as you win, as long as you have one more point than the other team. I don't care if Jimmy Garoppolo threw for 17 interceptions in a football game. If the score was 6-3 and they won, I would be okay with that, because at the end of the day, they won. I don't care how you win. A win is a win. If it's ugly, if it's a blowout, I don't give a dang, right? Anybody knows that. You can have a worst game individually and still win the game, and you'll be okay with that. You're like, yeah, I had a bad game. I missed 7 tackles, or I gave up 3 sacks. I missed on this tackle and stunt on the flip side of that. But hey, we won the game 17-13 on the last drive when it counted. So that's all that matters. Jeremy Willis says, we can be a wild card team with Adam. 0 chance of making the playoffs with Adam. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Tian Jung says 100. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying, man. Keep things 100. All right, we've been on for 1 hour and 7 minutes and 31 seconds. If you guys want to support the channel and support your boy Beast here in the DO Beast, consider sending me a super chat or a super sticker. We got 2 today, and we've been on for 1 hour and 7 minutes. Thank you so much, On to Six Soldier. Thank you so much to Mac Teddy. So yeah, if you guys want to support the DOB here on YouTube, please do so. We have 24 people watching right now, and if you can't do that because times are tough, just give this video a thumbs up. A like is free 99 and doesn't cost a thing. All right, so I think we're going to end this live stream. We have 45 likes right now, 24 people watching. Again, get those likes up as a recommended video. It'll be pushed to other Raider Nation like yourselves to help boost the algorithm. And we're trying to hit 10K subscribers. The only way we can do that is if you guys here in the DOB family and Beast Nation help spread the word on this. I know we have people. I know we're growing fast. But at the end of the day, there's also a dynamic to this, to where if you guys want to support and you guys can't do it through super chat, super sticker, I know many of you can't, otherwise you would. We get the same people donating all the time. So I know times are tough, so I'm not asking for anything monetary wise, but I am asking for your time. So watch every video, because again, that helps me make money. So again, if you guys want me to continue doing this as the 9 to 5, the reality situation is we need to make money. And so if you donate your time, right? If it isn't money, donate your time, watch all my videos, watch all my live streams, like them, engage with them on the platform. I respond to every single comment, even comments that were from 7 months ago. I'm responding to. So again, you guys know I respond to some of your comments. Or excuse me, all your comments. So again, if you can't donate money, donate your time, watch all my videos. That actually helps push the algorithm, and like it. And I check my analytics. I don't sleep until 3 a.m. every morning. You guys can tell. So again, that helps a lot. And again, there's 22 people watching right now. Give this video a thumbs up. And again, a thumbs up, a like is worth 1,000 hugs here in the DOB on YouTube. So again, thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. We'll be hopping off this live stream. We've been on for 1 hour and 9 minutes and 38 seconds, but I just want to give a special shout out to Mac Teddy and On to Six Soldier. Mahalo for your super chats today, and really appreciate it. So again, yeah, if you guys like me pushing these live streams, definitely consider sending me a super thanks if you're watching this on the replay. I know Mika from Germany has been stepping up and doing his part, but we actually need more people doing that. So again, whether it be through a like, through engagement, or watching all my videos, please do so. And again, if you have yet to subscribe to the channel, please do so in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. So that way you stay up to date on all things Beast in real time. So if you have a Gmail account, you're halfway there. Just open up a YouTube account through your Gmail, email, and you're already there. All right. So thank you everyone for tuning in. I had a lot of fun. I hope you had a lot of fun. Take care for now. I'll be hopping on back on tomorrow for our Blitz pickup with Randy Cross at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Take care for now. Beastwriter out.